So as we said in the introduction, not much real change here except for the fact that we're now doing some ray casting. So now we can right click on this lid to open it, right click on it to close it. We can left click on there to send the pipette there, and all the normal rules of pipette movement are obeyed. Now the ray casting is not demonstrably doing a lot for us at the moment, but it will really have a big impact later on. Now, in the blurb, we explain a little bit more about the way the raycasting is set up, but this is quite a good introduction to it. Basically, the ray is being sent out from one object into the world in a particular direction, and we're actually sending it out from the main camera. So we make a reference to the main camera and then update every frame. We're continually working out where the mouse is, in what direction the mouse is, and then we're drawing a ray from the camera in that direction. And that can be done as a debug, so we can actually see it, or it can be done obviously during playtime, when if we then find out that that ray is hitting something, when we press the button down, the mouse button down, we can get some report backs on what it's hit. Now, you have to have a collider on the object for a hit to be registered. So if during all this ray casting, you click the left button down, and if something is hit, if a collider is hit, then you can report back what that thing is that's been hit. Or in this case, you can say, if the name of the thing that's been hit is this, then go and do something on that. Now there's one little useful line of code that Rowan discovered for me. It really gets over a nasty little problem with raycasts, which is that sometimes the raycast doesn't, the raycast can go through UI elements. So if you have UI elements like the world space UI elements, sometimes they don't register properly. So this actually really helps get over that. It's a good idea to put that line in any raycast code. But the real reason why I put it in on this particular session is that I really wanted to get rid of the button that we have to click to make the lid open and close. So the only way around that is to do a raycast, because there is no equivalent of on mouse down for the right mouse. You can only have on mouse down for the left mouse. So in order to be able to register a right mouse click, that's why I've used the raycast. So if the right mouse is down and you've hit something, then find out what that is, and if it's got a particular name, do the particular action. So it's meant one little change to the prefab, and that is that we've got this top trigger now, which can be triggered by a left click to direct the pipette, or a right click to open and close the lid. But I've also put a trigger on the lid handle. So I've put this trigger on here, and that means that we can also right click the actual lid while it's in the open position, and it will do the same as clicking the top of the tube. So if we just go back to the play, when we've got that new tube, we can either right click here to open the lid, or we can right click on the lid itself. See how it doesn't matter where we right click there, it's going to open and close the tube quite nicely. So that's the main thing in this session. Raycasting is going to be very, very handy later on, and I think now it is time to start thinking about consolidating some of the scripts, because there's a lot of overlap in the function. So some things like the tube actions and the pipette guide are all sort of mixed up together. You sort of get the impression that they might actually sit well on one script. But in a sense, that's just window dressing. I think we're keen to get onto moulds, aren't we? So I think that's probably what we'll attempt to do next.